The IDF are currently estimating civilian to combatant casualty ratios in this war at around 2 to 1. That means 2 civilians killed for every fighter killed. Civilian casualties in combat are always devastating and tragic, but unfortunately they're a feature of almost every war. Many times I have seen the horror of civilian casualties, despite the immense efforts the British Army and our allied armies take to avoid them. The UN estimates that the civilian to combatant death ratio in conflicts since the Second World War averages 9 to 1. That is a shocking 9 civilians killed for every combatant. That figure reflects the fact it includes conflicts involving armies that have no regard for civilians. For example, the Syrian army, the Russian army, and the armies of other dictatorships. Like the British, however, the Americans are very careful to minimize civilian deaths. In Iraq, estimates suggest US forces killed 3 civilians for every combatant, and in Afghanistan, between 3 and 5 to 1. In previous conflicts in Gaza, the IDF has achieved a significantly more favourable casualty ratio, generally between 0.6 to 1 and 2 to 1. It's still awful, but much better than most, if not all other armies engaged in combat. The IDF have historically achieved such comparatively low ratios, despite the reality that Hamas fight from within the civilian population, use human shields, and deliberately try to force the IDF to kill as many of their civilians as possible. This is so the world turns on Israel and falsely condemns it for war crimes. With help from much of the media, the UN and so-called human rights groups, it works every time, encouraging Hamas to do it again and again.